And I just wanted to start by letting everybody know, including Mr. Wong, that this is a Christian channel. We only are interested in the facts and what the people want to know. So first question, Jay Wong, do you make love the way you play video games? Meaning lame. You know, maybe in the next room, like your mother-in-law or somebody's like, let's go, Justin. Like, does that ever happen?
So because I play lame in fighting games, you think I'm like I would say I play like lame like in terms of defense. What do I just a tip or something? I is it like nah bro, I'm a rushdown player, you feel me? You can't have babies with just a tip.
Couldn't look away from the train wreck. You can blame it on the tech or the disrespect. Before you play, better button check. Button check.
What is up, Button Check fam? We are back with a special episode, a special guest, a special interview. It is Thursday, that much closer to the weekend. As always, chapters and links down below if you guys want to skip around to a certain subject. We got a special guest that needs no introduction, so I'm not going to introduce him. I'm not. I always say that, but I still introduce him. This time I'm not. I'm not going to introduce him. Here we go. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with the almighty Justin Wong. Thank you for joining us, man. It's been a minute since I've talked to you. Since I've talked to you, man, I mean, you're doing your thing, man. You're blown up as a content creator, family man. You're posting pictures of your beautiful family and all that stuff. Your daughter's growing up quick. But what I wanted to kind of circle back real quick to that whole thing. But I swear, let me know if I'm getting this wrong. I thought, or I was under the impression that you always bragged about playing lame. You always I thought you did anyway, where you were always like, I go for the win. You know what I'm saying? Like whether
Yeah.
lame. Is that what you hold true, or are you like, nah, I'm rushed down now? Like just going off the
No, I mean I would say I know how to play multiple play styles. But I would just say that I'm more of a defensive player. Not, defensive lame and everything like that, but I feel like when you watch most players play games in general, technically they're kind of defensive. But then they turn on their offense after they do a defensive thing, right? So I think that's just kind of how it is, but it's just when it comes down to like if I have to make a comeback or whatever, I'm okay playing lame and playing defensive while making a comeback in that form of fashion. So people look at it like that. But I just think it's just safe gameplay. You know what I mean? Just safe gameplay.
Now, how do you feel currently, man, about the state of the FGC being online so much? We're probably going to be online that much longer. I really don't know if Evo is going to happen this year or not. I think I'll be surprised if it does.
Oh man, so I feel like it's tough, right? Because obviously this is like our third year going into the pandemic and everything transitioned to online. And I was a person who hated online tournaments. I was like, before COVID, I was like, I never want to play in online tournaments. And last year I did like my personal goal of like trying to win 100 online tournaments. So that was fun, and adapting to the situation where online is kind of the new norm. I think it's very comfortable to play from home, but obviously you lose the whole social interaction with people, and because that's like one of the most important parts is like seeing people that you want to hang out with, in like that one event we were at, and we were just like after tournament we were in the back room watching like a pay-per-view and wrestling, right? You were there and everything. That was like mad fun.
It was, man.
Right. That was mad fun, just chilling with people like that. So you kind of miss that vibe, and obviously CEO did happen. A lot of people enjoyed it. I wasn't there, because I'm just scared of because I'm in Canada, and if I get tested positive, I'm literally stuck in USA for 10 days until I test negative to go back home to Canada. So it's more risky for me to travel, right? Because I don't live in the States anymore. But I would say for Evo, man, I feel like Evo could possibly cancel again, just because it's on terms of a large scale event. They have kind of like that reputation that they should kind of like be more responsible, especially if there's going to be, the numbers would be huge if people went to Evo, right? So the chances of cases or more positive case or spread would be pretty high. I mean, if you look at Capcom Cup canceled.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's unfortunate. It's like the second year. All these players work so hard to qualify online in a terrible netcode, and they're like, hey man, your reward is supposed to play offline for lots of cash.
Right.
But now it's like, Well, we got to run back last year. It's kind of unfortunate, but it's definitely the right decision overall. So I just think it's going to be 50-50. Like, you're going to have tournament organizers who will try to keep, like the most safest like areas, and make sure everything's like clean and and sterilized for players to reduce infections. But then you're going to have other tournament organizers that just kind of don't want to take the risk. I mean, Ludwig just posted he's running a $30,000 and $30,001 Smash Melee tournament online. Come on, man. So like the thing is, you might hate online tournaments, which I did, but now I definitely enjoy playing in them. It's fun, and it's just good content in general, especially if you stream your runs, right? You stream your playthroughs. So I think I would say eventually, as the netcodes get better, and things are more flourished out, then I feel like online should count as equally as an offline win. Depending, obviously, the netcode does get better. But like, if you're saying like, I'm an Evo champ for winning Evo Online, I'm like, nah, that doesn't count, bro, because that doesn't include everybody. Right.
Are you the same as Punk? I was interviewing Punk the other day, and I asked him how much longer he wants to do this. And basically he said forever, until he gets arthritis, or he's like, I will do this until 40, 50 if I can, because it's what he loves. You in the state that you are, and you guys are kind of in the same spot to where your content is off the charts right now. It's only getting bigger. And I was like, you probably could retire right now and just be good with the content. You know what I'm saying? He was like, yeah, probably, but this is what I love to do. You being a family man and all this other stuff, are you kind of in the same boat, or do you put a time limit on it?
I would say I'm a part-timer for sure when it comes to the competitive side of the FGC. Okay. I would say, like, if there was a CPT, no COVID right now, would I travel for like all the countries and everything? Probably not, just because like, family man and everything. And the whole transition of just making fighting game content and getting more people to love fighting games is kind of like the new passion for me. And also the fact that I love these old games. I grew up playing these old games, but I never had the opportunity to sit down and like train in these old games because it was expensive. You gotta put a quarter or 50 cents every single time in the machine. Super expensive. There was no training mode. Now there's people developing training mode scripts where you can have your own bootleg training mode in these old games, and I'm like, bro, I'm having a blast doing stuff like this, right? Like last night I played Marvel's Capcom 2 with my man Chris Matrix from Vancouver to New York, and we were just having mad fun. And like so like it's just it's a comfortable situation, I would say, that I'm in, and I probably wouldn't want to jeopardize it. Just because when it comes down to like this grind of content, you got to be consistent with this, bro. So yeah, you got to be consistent. But overall, it's just been pretty fun doing it. So I would rather just kind of focus on this, unless Project L comes out with like $1 million prize pool. Then obviously I got to take that. You feel me?
I was generally curious, and I'm wondering if you can clear this up. Moment 37 has been talked to death, right? So I'm not going to really talk about that moment. But my question was, I said, how come the most infamous pop-off in FGC history, which is Viscant LTG, doesn't have a moment number attached to it like Moment 37 does with Justin Wong and Daigo? I was like, is it not the biggest pop-off ever, like in the FGC history? How come we don't have a way to phrase this? I got a bunch of different responses. Some people were like, oh, because only the moments have to come from Evo. And then they said Moment 37, but where's the other 36? But from my understanding, I thought Moment 37, they just kind of randomly named it. And then somebody said, oh no, it was 37 seconds when he started to parry. And then somebody looked that up and said, no, it wasn't. It was like 31 seconds or something like that. So I'm fucking lost right now. But others said, ultimately, what y'all did in Moment 37 was just so huge for gaming, and it was actually at a huge tournament and whatnot, that it outweighs anything else. You know what I'm saying? Not to be compared to a pop-off, so to speak. So how do you kind of view that when it comes to like the biggest pop-off ever, if you consider that the biggest pop-off ever, versus Moment 37?
So I saw that tweet, and I completely agree with you in terms of like, one, I don't know where they got the number 37. I actually think they randomly chose it because I was like, dude, where's moment 36, 35, 34, whatever? Right? It don't exist, bro. So like, I think they definitely randomly just said it, unless they personally have their own internal moments. Maybe that's why they made it for 37. But for public knowledge, there's definitely no moment 1 through 36 in public knowledge, so we don't know anything about that.
Okay.
Right. I would say definitely LTG versus Viscant was legendary as well, in terms of just like kind of like how everything looks, right? In terms of like, you know, like big buff dude and then scrawny white guy. You know, it really had like the Alpha 2 vibes, right? With like Akuma looking down on Ryu like the poster.
It did.
So so it was just so perfect. And like there was a whole crowd there, and then Alex Vi is, you know, he's just instigating the whole situation, right? And then Viscant really had that crazy line in the end, bro. Like I'm like, bro, that was crazy, right? Yeah. So I would, it's just so good, and personally, I would love for it to have like kind of like just a number of it as well, just because like, you know, a lot of moments. It doesn't have to be like have to be greater than moment 37 or like whatever. I just think that every moment deserves, like, especially an iconic moment, deserves like kind of like some type of number for sure, so people can like recognize it as like, this is the moment.
That was the other thing. For some reason, this year you seem to be getting bodied with moment 37 replicas, like people nailing you with that shit in Third Strike, and you're like, I'm fucking quitting, or I'm gonna sue everybody that does this shit to me. It's like, it's nonstop this year.
I just think it's you know, pretty cool. Obviously, Fightcade for Third Strike is like super high level now, and the connections for it, like in terms of like network connection, is like almost flawless. Literally like probably 99% flawless.
Yeah.
Like the first guy, the Ken player that I played, he's from Japan. So I played from Vancouver to Japan, and he did the whole Daigo parry there.
Shit.
Right? So that was kind of crazy. And it definitely blew up. And the fact that it happened another time with a Chun-Li player, right? It happened a second time. And then it happened a third time against a Sean player. But I don't count the Sean one because he didn't do the full Daigo parry. He bitched out. Right? He bitched out the full Daigo parry. He did a cute punish and everything like that, but it wasn't a full. And then even I played Smug the other day, and he almost did the whole Daigo parry too as well, but he didn't do it though. You know, so I give the opportunity. They're like, all right, let me see if you got the parry, right? But it's crazy because when I talk shit and then they start parrying it, it's just like, damn, it's just so organic that I'm like, bro, I can't believe you did it, bro.
Like, I'm so used to Street Fighter, and I just born and bred Street Fighter, right? So all these other games I'm trying to learn, my mind does not work like that. I'm just like fucking frustrated, and I'm lost, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck is going on the screen right now? And other people are like, oh, this and this and this. But I see, like, you know, like with you guys, it's just like you click. Like you said earlier, you feel like the new games that come out, you got the advantage, you know, because you're one of these guys that just gets it.
Yeah, I mean, fighting games naturally are just hard. That like I didn't come out of like my mother's womb with like little mini joystick and I'm a god all of a sudden, right? So like I was pretty bad at fighting games when I first started. I was mashing like crazy, playing like it's a God of War or like a Devil May Cry type of game. But eventually it just clicks, right? Eventually it just clicks, and then once it clicks for you in terms of like you knowing how to like understand this one fighting game, and you understand the mechanics, trying to branch out to the second one is always the hardest. But if the thing is, if you're able to master the second one as you master the first one, then the third one is going to be a lot easier. And then speaking of what you said, it's just naturally anytime there's going to be a new version of a game, you're going to have literally probably over 70% of the tournament player base will say, bro, this game sucks, I'm going to stick with this game. Right? All Street Fighter 2 players hate Street Fighter 3. All Street Fighter 3 players hate Street Fighter 4. All Street Fighter 4 players hate Street Fighter 5. And I'm pretty sure all Street Fighter 5 players will hate Street Fighter 6. And this will also be the same for the Guilty Gears, The Mars Capcoms, it's always going to be like that no matter what, just because everybody has a different way of learning fighting games, especially if you're a specialist in that one fighting game.
So, hey, yo, appreciate your time. Thank you, brother. Everybody check out this man's content. Y'all already know who he is. But anyway, I'll post his links, plinks, stinks, all that good stuff in the description field. Streaming, content creation. The man's going off the charts. And we hope to see you soon, man, competing again. And hope to talk to you again, man. So thank you for your time, man. I know it's precious. We'll talk to you soon.
Oh, of course. No, thank you, man. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. All right, talk to you soon. Peace. There it is, ladies and gents. Definitely let me know how you feeling. Special shout out to our guest, Justin, to the Wong. And if we don't see you tomorrow, we'll definitely see you the next day. Love y'all forever. Peace. Blah, blah, blah. Subscribe.
Nah, bro, I'm a rushdown player. You feel me? You can't have babies with just a tip. You cannot have babies with just a tip.
Yeah. Dude, you killed that shit. Oh my God. I wasn't even expecting you to respond, bro. You killed that shit.